Everybody, I'm Niharika Tiwari from SocioBits, and today I'm with the co-founders of Aliste Technologies, Mr. Kunal Gautam and Anant Tohari. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Niharika.
So, could you tell me a little about yourself?
So we're not used to doing press and all, so we just created Shark Tank. So we don't know how to open these, but so I'm Anant and this is Kunal. So we're co-founders of Aliste Technologies. We're a home automation firm. So we go way back. We're a company that was started out of a couple of college flatmates that were just fighting over their laziness as to who will turn the AC on. So yeah, and we're a couple of 23-year-olds who are trying to make it.
Okay. So, can you tell me a little about Aliste Technology? When did you start with Aliste?
So, Aliste is a home automation company. We started 3 years back. What we basically do is we make your regular appliances smart. We have devices that go behind your switchboard, and once you have them installed, you can control your existing lights, fans, ACs and TVs via our mobile application and via various voice assistants like Alexa and Siri.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
So, through Aliste, what are the issues that you're trying to resolve?
So we want to make this a smarter place, and we are a mission driven company, so we also want to save electricity while we are moving forward with automation. So if we can reduce electricity bill by 5 or 10% of one home on a macro scale, it will be a large saving. So we want to do that, and that is our root mission going forward.
So how will you do that?
So, Antika?
Yeah.
So basically the way our appliances work is that we are automating all your existing appliances, right? So we know what you use, when you use it and how you're using it because we're behind all your switchboards. So now let's just say that Niharika, you turn your light on for an hour and a half. So now we know that you've turned your light on for an hour and a half. And discussion say we know that it's a it's a 9 watt LED bulb or something like that. So now we can approximate as to how much you're consuming, right? So now, since we store all our user data and we know how to, we can develop insights through that, we can give a fair assumption as to what your electricity consumption might be through our solutions. So of course, when we track that over a long period of time, we can definitely monitor as to how people use it. And we have several layers and strategies on top of this through our business models and through our soon to come subscription model plug. So that we want to incentivize people to reduce their consumption. So discussion say what I would tell you is that we'll give you a month of automation for free by if you in our subscription plan. As of now you buy it at one point, but in our subscription plan we tell you that if you reduce your electricity consumption by 10%, we'll give you a month of automation for free. So maybe a 10% reduction in electricity bill might not be something that you really think about too much, but a free month of automation is a bigger carrot for you, right? And on a macro scale, when we have a lot of users, a 5 to 10% reduction can really lead to a significant difference, and that is something that really drives us and we're very bullish on.
Okay. So you started Aliste 3 years back. So how has your journey been?
So it has been a roller coaster ride. From there we face new problems every day. We try to find the solutions to all of those things. We have tried doing everything on ourselves because we are a bootstrapped company as of right now. We hope to get something out of here soon, but until now we have done everything ourselves. Every day is a new journey, be it making a pitch deck or solving major tech issues. Everything has been done by our team. So every day is a new challenge for us. Every day we learn new things. So that is how we are moving forward, and we hope to see something great coming out in the future.
Correct. So you face new challenges every day.
Yeah.
So is there anything in particular, any challenge that you face, like a major challenge?
So many. Every day is a challenge. But like a challenge that, one very major challenge, it's not like something specific, it's something on a broader scale, but I think a lot of people that might see this would understand that when you're running a startup, there's a lot of esteem of your own that's attached to your company, right? Whenever there's a product or there's anywhere that brand name is associated, a personal esteem of mine is associated with that brand. So whatever pushes out, I want it to be the best to my capability. I want it to be better than what I can do. So I am striving for perfection. But when you go out and get things done through a third party or you get things done through externally and you don't do it yourself, of course as your company grows, not the promoter can't do everything. So there you see that everyone is trying to make a quick buck and pass the minimum viable product, and they're not really doing things to perfection the way you would like them to. And that is something that is very difficult to adjust to, right? Because initially you're doing everything, and that is why you will put in the extra 3 hours into making sure that whatever you do is a reflection of how much you are attached to that company, and so whatever you push out should be optimum. But that slowly, of course, goes down to the minimum viable product, and you get it done through a third party.
Correct.
So that is a very major challenge in all fields, be it design, be it legal, be it finance. So of course, that is why you need to be very careful as to whom you choose to do what. And I think the people who are able to get good people to work for them are the ones who are able to build a bigger business instead of a mom and pop shop or a non-scalable one.
Very true. So does Alistair have any competitors?
Yeah, we have quite a few competitors, but the technology and all of those things that those people are using are way behind us. So what we believe that software is the secret sauce, and our software is way ahead of the competition in the market. And what everybody else is providing, there are two segments that this market has been divided into. One is the very high segment. So those people are not really our competitors, because those people are Lamborghinis in the car market, and we are trying to be the Swift in the go-to market segment. And the other people who are generally there, those people are traders, and those people are just importing from China and white labeling it and selling it. So a truly good company who is doing everything in-house, the tech and the hardware, and they're doing it really nicely, is not present in the market, and there is no go-to name for automation in the market. We want to be the Colgate of automation industry.
That was a good example.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned Shark Tank.
Right.
So how was your experience at Shark Tank?
It was fun. I think it's a great platform for a startup like ours, because if I went to Sony TV today and asked for prime time and 10 minutes of coverage, that'd be worth crores, and that'd be something that my startup would not be able to afford in the next X number of years. And getting a platform like that has really catapulted growth for us. But even though we didn't get an investment, although the offer that we got, we didn't accept it, but I think it's the exposure that is of value there, and that we got, and we're very blessed to have it. But then again, as in all startups, you can't sit and just enjoy the good moments. You have to make sure that you can catapult and leverage that growth and acceleration to really use that momentum and keep growing. So that whenever something good happens, it mounts a certain amount of pressure onto us, that you want to make sure that that particular point can be leveraged in such a manner that we can really scale from it. So touch wood, I think we've been able to get a decent amount of growth off of it. But good better bets never let you rest.
So why did you reject the offer?
I think we were fairly confident that the valuation that we were getting, we understand that the value of Shark ads, and we don't deny it. Their network and their experience is something that is invaluable, and we would understand why a lot of startups would compromise on their valuation to onboard a Shark. But the thing is that beyond a certain point, it needs to make sense for us, right? There is a certain amount that you can accommodate. And I think we were fairly confident that at the value that we were getting the deal at, we are fairly more valuable than that. And stooping down to that level just to get a deal from a Shark would not be something that would make sense for us at the time. So I think we're fairly confident. We're happy with that decision, no regrets as such.
Okay. So what is your roadmap for the future? Any goals set for this year?
For sure, I think we want to close our first round within the next month and a half, and that money will be that we have a runway of roughly a year and a half. So of course we have that money allocated and parked in certain sectors, but of course on paper and real life is a whole different ballgame. So once we are able to close that round, we're fairly confident we'll do it in a month and a half, because once your viewers see it, I hope we get some more commitments. But so it'll be the next year is all about making sure that we can allocate those resources wisely and really scale in the manner that we want to and exceed everyone's expectations of us.
Okay. So you were also a part of Tips Incubation, right?
Yes.
So how was that experience?
We were part of Tips. Tips incubation was a really nice experience. We got to meet a lot of good investors over there from the likes of HDFC Bank and a lot more. So the platform that Tips had created for us in JVIMS was really nice, and the director of JVIMS himself was really involved, and he was really happy with what we bring to the table. And we think that we can close around with one of the investors which are there in Tips, hoping for that. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that is great. Is there anything else that you would like to share with social?
For sure. One more thing is about Tips that we really love personally is that even in Shark Tank and in Tips, like especially after COVID, fundraising is a completely virtual process, right? And now what we believe is that at least in our stage, early stages of a startup, the team is as important as your business model is. And when we are talking on Zoom calls, I'm sure you can do the best you can, but your personality really doesn't reflect that much. At least as far as we're concerned, we like to enamor people when we're in their presence. So that's one thing that's really good. So if we get to connect with people in person, I think there's definitely you get a sense of people's energy and what their motives are, and I think people tend to resonate with us when they're with us in person. You can tell us about that if you do or not. So that's why I think it's a good platform, and I think we definitely in the post-COVID era really need to ramp up places wherein entrepreneurs can be in person with investors, because that is how you will really get to see the passion and the drive that a person has. I'm sure having 10 Zoom calls will let you know what the business model and the metrics are, but when you meet the person and see how they talk about their startup and what they feel, then it will definitely change your purview, or at least help you understand as to what drives them and what their passions and what their motives are. So I really think that platforms where startups and investors can meet in person are really important and something that should be promoted to a great extent. So you guys have done a good job of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was a great conversation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.